Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Mr. Voigtman, if you're curious, here's the thing that I'm concerned with, the things that I'm concerned about that Mr. Price and you people refuse to deal with.
Okay.
I don't know about you people, but I know Price has. Type of condition. Mr. Kiritsis steadfastly maintains his belief that he is here illegally and does not have legal counsel. That part is true. He polarizes patients and staff either for him or against him, quote, quote. Who doesn't? There are people that are on your side and people that are not. That's hardly my fault. There are people that support President Reagan. There are people who cannot stand him. He perceives almost everything in terms of himself with no thought or care for others. That's an absolute savage, I'd like to swear, but you probably got the recorder on, haven't you? I'd like to say bad words. It's not true.
Let me just ask you.
Well, let me cover this for a minute before you ask me anything. May I cover this?
Sure.
Okay. He manipulates lower functioning patients. That's an absolute untruth. I want to say the things that I'm reading here, I have discussed with every staff member whom I respect, which are several. You understand, I get along with 85% of the patients and about 80 or 85% of the staff. Do you get along with 85% of your peers? Of course not. They don't like Mark White. Wait, let me finish. Please let me finish. This is important to me, okay? That is absolutely untrue. He demands his rights and demands to be heard, but refuses to listen. That's another gross falsehood. Of course I demand my rights. I didn't know that that was an indication of mental illness. It's not that I refuse to allow others to speak, or it's not that I admit I demand to be heard if a guy brings it to me. No one has to listen to me. You understand? They can walk away from me. However, I admit that I refuse to listen to somebody trying to tell me what the score is. They're trying to tell me how to ride this horse, and I've been on him for 10 years. They're trying to tell me how the horse is running, and I've been on him for 10 years. That's,
The one question that
sure.
The one question that everybody has in their mind
Sure.
is, what do you think now that the psychiatrist is saying that you are not harmful to yourself or anyone else? Do you think you should be out on the streets now? Well,
Mr. Voigtman, let me answer it this way. I'll answer it as thoroughly as you want, but let me say this. There is nothing on here that the state of Indiana, and particularly Mr. Schaefer and the Attorney General's office, have not known for almost 10 years. They've known this for 10 years, that I'm not mentally ill, and I'm not dangerous to myself or others, and I'm not gravely disabled. They've known this for 10 years. Why have they kept me locked up for 10 years? Is that, as I allege, the vicious abuse of psychiatry for political purposes? Is it or is it not? I ask you, gentlemen, what do you think?
You're saying there's a conspiracy.
Mr. Price has told me unequivocally that there's a conspiracy. Has he ever told you that? Mr. Price has told Joe Collins there's a conspiracy. Mr. Price has told John Walburn at some federal agency or Indiana agency that there's a conspiracy. Mr. Price has told Dan Luzader there's a conspiracy. Has he told you that? I'm asking a question.
No.
If he told you that, would you put it on the news tonight?
Yes.
Would you?
My question to you is, that's all in the past. What about right now? What do you hope is going to happen right now?
Well, I'm a human being. I'd like to get my freedom. Would you not wish for your freedom? If they locked you up on the way home, Mark Voigtman, and said, look, we know you're not crazy, but you're going to have to submit to a psychiatric evaluation that's rigged, and we're going to keep you locked up until you do, how long would it take for you to submit to a psychiatric evaluation that they admit is rigged, that you know is rigged, fixed? How long would it take you to submit, Mark? Let me finish, please. You promised. He accuses patients and staff of wrongdoing on a daily basis. That's absolutely untrue. I rarely accuse a patient of wrongdoing. I feel it's incumbent on me to accuse a staff member of gross wrongdoing, willful, knowing, gross, criminal wrongdoing. I do that. He quickly builds mountains out of molehills, reacting histrionically to all his many perceived injustices. That's absolutely untrue. I never make a molehill out of a mountain. I mean a mountain out of a molehill, and I do not react histrionically. I pitch a I'll grant that. I want somebody in the context of the facts, in the context of what actually has occurred. Then you tell me I'm reacting histrionically. Mr. Price has not addressed these issues.
Are you gonna,
Staff, wait a minute, excuse me, he has been occasionally verbally threatening to patients. That's absolutely false. I have never threatened a patient, never. You understand, none of the staff members that I've discussed this with agree with this. They agree with me.
more later? They're taking you now, so
Empty lettuce, all right.
we'll talk to you after.
All right. I appreciate it, Mark. Like I say, I'm not looking for any kisses. I'm telling you guys it's incumbent on you to tell the truth.
I'm coming in with you.
No.
Not with the camera.
Oh, not the camera. I'm sorry. You got the hammer? Just on my desk? Yeah.